Hello, kids. It's time to get spooky during the Halloween. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like it anymore.
What I do like is spending time on YouTube, looking for hidden gems. I think we all do. Really great old movies that, for one reason or another, aren't very popular but are great nonetheless. Lost to the sands of time, just waiting for the right person to find them. And like me, I'm sure you also come across a lot of videos promising to show you hidden gems, the likes of which you've never seen. Top 10 hidden gem horror movies, the best hidden gems of the 1980s. I guarantee you've never heard of this hidden gem. Lofty promises and bold claims. However, I generally find these promises to be empty and my click to be baited. Tonight, I am going to talk about an actual hidden gem I can almost guarantee you've never heard of. A horror movie that is just as scary as it is obscure. A South Korean movie called Invisible 2: Chasing the Ghost Sound.
야, 씨발 새끼들아! 너
And right here at the top of the show, I want to give you a little disclaimer. Please, 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 if you have not seen this film, I highly urge you to watch it for yourself now. I am going to spoil it, and believe me when I tell you, this film is best enjoyed going in completely blind. You can watch it for free on YouTube. It's very short, just 40 minutes long, so there really should be nothing stopping you. If you're looking for scary movies to watch this spooky season, this one is perfect. So again, if you haven't seen it, stop the video now. I'll wait. Okay, I'm assuming you all have watched it, so let's continue. Oh, and one more thing. I could find little to no behind-the-scenes info for this film at all. I tried researching this film's origins, but it dragged me into a rabbit hole of online forums and subreddits. No substantiated facts anywhere, just a bunch of people arguing over not only the identity of the cast and crew, but even the plot itself and what's actually happening in it. This is a weird one, guys. It was supposedly directed by a guy named Jun Suk-yu. He only has one credit, and after that he just disappeared. No other info exists on either the director or the cast. However, I am of the mind that all of this mystery adds a layer of unsettling creepiness to the film. As a matter of fact, if one wanted to craft a theory that this may actually be found footage, the total lack of info makes it scarily plausible. No director bios, no cast interviews, no behind-the-scenes fluff. It's like the production erased itself, leaving only the footage as proof that it even exists. And if you think that sounds silly, go down that rabbit hole yourself and prove me wrong. In the meantime, let's get to the breakdown. The movie begins with a conversation between Gyum-ja and a man I'll be referring to from henceforth as the producer. And you can already tell something's off here. The camera is positioned in an off-kilter, precarious way. I believe this is because the producer is filming Gyum-ja without her knowledge, but that's only speculation. The man Gyum-ja is talking to is the producer of a cheesy ghost hunting TV show. I guess you could say he's like a Korean Zach Baggins, only a lot less douchey.
Hey Irene, I heard you like to tickle toes. Do you want to tickle my big old long toes?
Anyway, Gyum-ja is a widow who believes there may be a ghost in her guest house. She says she's been hearing strange sounds and voices. She wants answers, so she's requesting the aid of a famous psychic that is under the employ of the producer, a man by the name of Mr. Jung. However, Gyum-ja has a little caveat in her request. She does not want any cameras near her home. She doesn't want the ghost hunting TV crew to be involved at all. She wants it all private. To which the producer vehemently refuses, demanding cameras for the full spectacle or no deal at all. However, Gyum-ja is insistent. She does not want any TV shows documenting her life. She does not want her story made public. And if any of you are thinking that seems a bit suspicious, your instincts are right on. But the producer is more insistent. He basically tells her Mr. Jung is under contract with me, and there's no way in hell he's doing anything with you unless I can film it. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. Defeated and seemingly desperate, Gyum-ja has no choice but to acquiesce. Cut to a long yet appropriate traveling sequence of the producer and his crew making their way to Gyum-ja's home, which is apparently way out in the boonies. Many of you probably think this is a waste of time. You may even think of it as filler, but filler it is not. Sequences like this exist for one very necessary reason, to show the audience that the story will be taking place in a very secluded and isolated setting in the middle of nowhere, far from help, safety, or escape. It's an example of what I call dread building, and it is very important when crafting a genuinely scary tale. Moving on. As Gyum-ja greets the crew, there is a palpable sense of discomfort and tension. We know Gyum-ja does not want the crew or the cameras in her home. They are not welcome, and we know it. Also adding to the tension is the introduction of Mr. Jung, the famous psychic who seems to be acting as antisocial and awkward as possible. He does not introduce himself, he does not speak. You really get the sense that he is not happy about where he is or what he's doing. There's of course a reason for this, but we won't discuss that yet. So, now that we're all nice and uncomfortable, let's continue. Then we get a nice little guided tour of Gyum-ja's guest house. It actually looks quite cozy. And of course, while the camera crew is poking around, Gyum-ja seems to look more and more uncomfortable by the minute. I'd like to pause here for a second and explain the formula for a genuinely scary horror movie. What makes a scary movie scary? I'm sure many filmmakers and writers ask themselves this question all the time. And if you are one of those people, you may want to get out a pen, because I'm going to explain it. A good horror movie is like a magic trick. Now, anyone who's seen the brilliant film The Prestige will tell you that there are 3 parts to every magic trick. The pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary, something you've seen 100 times, something normal. Notice I didn't say boring, I said normal. A filmmaker is very much like a magician, and every filmmaker generally begins every horror film with a pledge. Recall every scary movie you've ever seen. They begin with normal people doing normal things. Teenagers going camping in the woods. Friends traveling across Texas in a Ford club wagon. Innocent children trick-or-treating on Halloween. But, hold on, I'm not going to finish my explanation of what makes a scary movie scary until the end of the video, in the interest of keeping things spoiler-free. So, back to the breakdown. Gyum-ja asks the producer why Mr. Jung is acting so strange, keeping to himself, being antisocial, and just generally being weird. To which the producer laughs and replies, "Don't worry about him. He was born that way." I know what it's like, buddy. Oh, and this? Don't pay any attention to this. It has nothing to do with anything that will become relevant later. A few hours pass, and Mr. Jung finally comes to life. He begins asking Gyum-ja questions. He sternly asks her about the identity of the ghost she believes has been speaking to her, and she replies that she believes it is the voice of her dead sister. And I want to point out that Mr. Jung's demeanor here is cold and almost accusatory, as if he's interrogating her, as if he knows something we don't. He then wants to talk to her in private, but of course the producer interjects. No, he says. We don't do things off screen around here. If you're going to talk to her, it's going to be in front of the cameras, bub. Nice try. And of course Mr. Jung has no choice but to acquiesce. Then we get a short little interview scene where Mr. Jung asks Gyum-ja how her sister died. Gyum-ja replies that her sister died in a car accident. A hit-and-run accident, to be specific. And her husband died in that same accident. And those of you amateur detectives out there who are picking up red flags, you may be onto something. Mr. Jung then asks what she believes her sister might be trying to tell her. What does it sound like? Can you make out the words? She can't. Gyum-ja tells both him and us that they're not really words at all, more like sounds. What sound like parts of words. Mr. Jung then asks Gyum-ja where she's been hearing the sounds. Cut to the room where Mr. Jung is writing questions on a piece of paper. He basically asks Gyum-seon, Gyum-ja's deceased sister, what she is trying to say. We then get a little montage of Mr. Jung attempting to record the voice of a ghost. This is an interesting scene. At this point in the film, we don't really know if the house is actually haunted, but there's this faint possibility that it is, which adds a little bit of the right kind of tension. I like that. Anyway, Mr. Jung then proclaims that he needs a break, and it is at this point in the film that all that tension that's been building comes to a head. Mr. Jung shows Gyum-ja a picture that seemingly features herself and her late husband. She claims that the woman in the picture is her, and this is where the twists start pouring in. You see, Mr. Jung, psychic detective extraordinaire that he is, has deduced that Gyum-ja's sister, Gyum-seon, is not only her sister, but her identical twin sister. You see, throughout the house there are many pictures of Gyum-ja and her husband. But when you consider many of those pictures are actually of Gyum-seon, well, hopefully, like me, you were able to come to the conclusion that Gyum-seon was having an affair with Gyum-ja's husband. This is why Gyum-ja was so adamant about not wanting her story to be made public. This is why she has been so secretive and mysterious. Because if people knew that her husband was having an affair with her sister, well, that would give her a motive to kill them both now, wouldn't it? And apparently Mr. Jung and myself think very much alike, because he flat out accuses Gyum-ja right there of killing her husband and sister. And as you may well have already guessed, it does not go well.
뭐야?
피루씨 왜 이래? 자, 우리 조금만 침착합시다. 자, 이러면 앉아봐요.
당신 나 취존해왔어? 어? 나 추궁 받을 만큼 받았거든. 그딴 거 받는 거 충분하거든. 저기요, 이거 계속할 거면 그만하시오. 그만
아니.
찍어요. 무슨 죄책감? 어? 네가 뭘 안다고? 어? 네가 뭘 안다고? 뭔지 알고 짓거리고 있는 거야? 어? 야, 네가 신이야? 어? 네가 예수야? 야, 씨발. 야, 네가 누가 누굴 죽였다고 그래?
전 이금자 씨가 사람을 죽였다고 얘기한 적 없는데요.
뭐라고? 저기요. 저기요, 그만 찍자고요.
예,
그만 찍어. 그만 찍으라고. 야, 그만 찍어.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but she looks very innocent to me. She'd never hurt a fly. We then get a little scene of the producer attempting to console Gyum-ja. Basically, Gyum-ja is done. She wants them to leave, and she says she hates Mr. Jung. She thinks he's an asshole and feels as though he's investigating her. But the producer tells her, look, we don't care about your personal life. We don't care what you did. We're not cops. We just care about recording the ghost sound, and that's it. But before we can find out if his consoling is successful, one of the crew bursts into the room and declares that the ghost is making sounds and they're recording it. Oh wow, that's miraculous. We then get a short scene of the crew recording apparent ghost sounds, and Mr. Jung's response to all this is less than supportive. Cut to a scene of the crew calling it a night. The producer bids Gyum-ja good night and tells her they'll go over everything they recorded and tell her if they find anything. Gyum-ja then tells the producer that the last thing they recorded didn't sound like the sound she's been hearing, to which the producer replies, "Don't worry about that. We'll go over everything and get back to you."
But there's the truth and the truth.
As the crew walks away, Mr. Jung and the producer have a little spat. Jung basically accuses the producer of being a fraud who fakes evidence of paranormal activity, which righteously pisses the producer off. Even though, I mean, let's face it, it's probably true. Before they can slug it out, they hear a gut-wrenching scream off in the distance. The crew runs back to the house to find Gyum-ja on the floor, looking absolutely terrified. I just want to take a quick moment to say that the actress who plays Gyum-ja is brilliant. This is a great performance, and this will not be the last time I call attention to it. This woman genuinely looks terrified here. Any critic worth their salt will tell you that bad acting can ruin a found footage movie, and the acting here is fantastic. moving on. The crew asks her why she screamed, to which she can only reply, "I heard it again." The producer is, of course, skeptical. He is, after all, the South Korean Zach Bagans.
You wanna tickle my big old long toes?
So it stands to reason he is a big old fat skeptic. Probably doesn't believe in anything. But Mr. Jung, that's a different story. Quick as a whip, Mr. Jung breaks out his recording equipment and asks Gyum-ja to ask her sister directly what she's trying to say to her.
금선아, 언니한테 하고 싶은 말이 뭐니? 금선아.
Gyum-ja's terrified delivery here is effectively chilling, and as if that wasn't enough, Mr. Jung's reaction to something he hears with his mic really makes the hairs on your neck stand up. Cut to more sound recording footage, but this time, it's different. This time, you really get the sense that the voice of an actual ghost is being recorded, and it is very unsettling. And at the end of it all, Mr. Jung declares that he has recorded 5 sounds in total. And then we get a nice little glimpse of what he has recorded. Check it out.
깜짝이야.
Whoa, super creepy. Mr. Jung explains that he recorded each different sound in a different room. And as I was saying before, these aren't actual words, they are parts of words. Of what words we don't know, but from here on out, you kind of get the sense that if you put these words in the right order, they would spell something out. The producer pulls Mr. Jung to the side to have a, quote, man-to-man talk, where he accuses Mr. Jung of faking the genuine ghost sounds he recorded. The producer also pretty much confirms that he himself is a fraud who faked the sounds he recorded. But Mr. Jung is adamant that the sounds he recorded are genuine. Mr. Jung then explains to Gyum-ja how she can edit the sound clips to try to make sense of them. He urges her to listen to them multiple times so that she can put them in the right order. Cut to Gyum-ja alone in the guest house, with nothing but a camera, the laptop, and a flashlight. And this is when the scares start to ramp up considerably. Also, the performance of the actress who plays Gyum-ja gets kicked into freaking high gear.
네가 형부랑 그러면 안 되는 거잖아, 그치? 씨발, 네가 어떻게 나를 이렇게 배신하고 내가 널 얼마나 사랑했는데 네가 언니가
She begins talking to the ghost of her sister. You see, she believes her sister is trying to apologize for sleeping with her husband. This is a very emotional scene, and the actress plays it to near perfection. You really get a sense of Gyum-ja's grief and her guilt. Before this point in the film, it was ambiguous as to whether or not Gyum-ja actually killed her sister and husband, but here we get confirmation, bigly. She even taunts the ghost, telling her she, quote, deserves death for what she did. And I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I don't think it's a very good idea to taunt the ghost of the person you yourself killed. That, doesn't seem like a very good idea to me. Anyway, Gyum-ja seems pretty certain that her sister is trying to apologize. So she goes back to the laptop to try to arrange the sounds in the right order so they can make sense. And then the crescendo hits, and the prestige hits you like a truck. I know, right? The first time I watched that, I almost shit myself. One of the scariest payoffs of all time, in my opinion. Seriously. And now I'd like to go back to my explanation of what makes a movie scary. As I said before, a scary movie is like a magic trick. And a magic trick has 3 parts, or acts. Part 1, the pledge. The filmmaker shows you something ordinary, like a woman who wants to hire a psychic to prove that her home is haunted. Pretty ordinary thing. The world is filled with millions of crazy women who want to hire ghost hunters. It's not like it's real or anything. But then comes part 2, the turn. And this is probably the most important part. You see, in a magic trick, the magician needs to make that ordinary thing disappear. But a filmmaker's job is a little different. A filmmaker has to make the audience believe they're not watching a horror movie at all. Show the audience a different movie, a drama, a comedy, so they're not prepared for what happens next. And that's when you ramp things up, slowly and subtly. Bring in the scares, sleight of hand, show the audience one thing, a cozy drama about Hyunja's grief, a bumbling producer chasing TV ratings, then pull the rug out from under them. Transform that drama or comedy into a horror movie. And that brings us to The Prestige. Go all out. Balls to the wall horror. Hold nothing back. And Invisible 2 Chasing the Ghost Sound does that beautifully. And that about wraps things up. And as an aside, I want to talk about how I discovered this movie and why I decided to cover it. There's another movie review channel on YouTube, perhaps you've heard of it. It's called Nightmare Movies. And Nightmare Movies did his own video on this movie, and that was where I first heard of it. And without spoiling it for myself, I went and watched it. And I was blown away. I loved it. So much so that I decided to do my own video on it. More people need to know about this film. It is the definition of a hidden gem. I was shocked that a movie so good could be so obscure. I would genuinely consider it to be one of the top 10 found footage movies ever made, and everyone needs to watch it. I cannot say enough good things about Invisible 2 Chasing the Ghost Sound. Both the director and actors deserve so much more praise, and you should go watch it right now. Thank you for watching. Shout out to Nightmare Movies for being such an awesome YouTuber. If you liked what you saw here, leave a comment and a like. Don't be afraid to subscribe, and I'll see you at the video store.